As a part of applications of derivatives, we started maxima and minima in the last class, right? See, in the last class, we learnt about increasing, decreasing functions, as well critical points, stationary points and turning points. And then in third point, I explained you about local maxima, local minima, global maxima and global minima, the differences between these four and the locations of these four with graphs. We discussed all these things as third point in the last class. Now, see, with that knowledge, now I am going to derive certain conditions for local maxima and local minima. I will use these conditions then to solve different problems. First of all, you just have a look here. I have a function y is equals to f of x, and this function f of x has local maxima at x is equals to alpha. As we discussed in the last class, if a function y is equals to f of x has local maxima at x is equals to alpha, what is the possible graph for that function f of x? That's what we need to discuss. And one more thing I am trying to note here, it is, see, y is equals to f of x. This y is equals to f of x is a continuous function. Here I am just trying to derive conditions for the continuous functions if they have local maxima at x is equals to alpha. If the function is discontinuous, and we will use graphs and the logical ways to solve the problems instead of deriving conditions. Is it right? Okay. So I have a continuous function and it has local maxima at x is equals to alpha. Then the possible diagram may be like this. You just have a look. See, local maxima, as we discussed, at x is equals to alpha, since the function has local maxima, see, this x is equals to alpha is just a critical point for that function. As we discussed in the last class, that x is equals to alpha, alpha is the critical point of the function. If you try to sketch the graph will be like this. If it is x-axis, somewhere on x-axis if you have alpha, and if you are trying to sketch the graph of this y is equals to f of x, then the graph will be like this. Okay? Yeah. Then at this upper peak, the value of x is alpha. This is the rough sketch of the graph if it has local maxima at x is equals to alpha, right? Since it has a local maxima at x is equals to alpha, what it means? See, this is the extreme maximum point of the graph if you change x in the neighborhood of alpha. Is it right? In the neighborhood of alpha means what? In the neighborhood of alpha means you need to consider a small interval alpha minus h to alpha plus h. In this interval, if you check that point, see, what is this point? This point is alpha comma f of alpha, because x is alpha and y is f of alpha, and this height is usually f of alpha. I think you all familiar with these things. Okay, so this f of alpha value is maximum. The function has a maximum at x is equals to alpha, and that maximum value is f of alpha. In this case, one thing we need to observe is, see, f of alpha is the maximum height, and when you move in this way backward, this is somewhat lesser height than that f of alpha. So I will mention that f of alpha minus h is less than f of alpha. And as well, see, this is alpha plus h point, and at this point this is the height, and this height is also for sure less than this f of alpha. So f of alpha plus h is also less than f of alpha. F of alpha minus h as well f of alpha plus h, both are lesser, and this f of alpha is greater, and so this function has maximum at x is equals to alpha. This is one condition. And the other condition, left side of this alpha graph is increasing, right side of this alpha graph is decreasing. F is increasing and f is decreasing. So f is increasing for x less than alpha, and f is decreasing for x greater than alpha, and at exactly alpha the graph is stationary. Okay, right? F is increasing left side and f is decreasing right side of that alpha. Is it right? Since it is increasing and then it is decreasing. Since it is increasing, For increasing functions, as we discussed in the previous classes, derivative of the function is positive, and for decreasing functions, derivative of the function is negative. So here I will mention one more thing, that is f dash of x is greater than 0 for x less than alpha. Left side of alpha increasing, so greater than 0. And f dash of x is equals to 0 at x is equals to alpha. At exactly alpha, since we have peak here, here you will get a tangent parallel to x-axis, so derivative is 0. And f dash of x is less than 0 at x greater than alpha. Right side of this point alpha, since the graph is decreasing, so its derivative is less than 0. See, by observing these three, what are those three? Derivative of f greater than 0, less than 0 and is equals to 0. When you observe, yeah, I will conclude one more statement, that see, f dash changes its sign from positive to negative in the surroundings of alpha. Okay, in the neighborhood of alpha minus h and alpha plus h, f dash changes its sign from positive to negative. Okay, because here f dash is positive and at this point 0 and after this point negative, right? So f dash changes its sign from positive to negative. Okay, so these are different conditions and I will use all these things to solve the problems. Okay, just have a look. If a function has local maxima at x is equals to alpha, since it has local maxima at x is equals to alpha, means as we discussed, this is the extreme peak, and see, for sure this height is maximum. When you start from x-axis, this height is maximum. That's what just I am mentioning here. Okay, so as we discussed, since local maxima at x is equals to alpha, you need to think in the neighborhood of alpha, alpha minus h to alpha plus h, and at alpha minus h the height is lesser, at alpha plus h again the height is lesser than that f of alpha. So this is first condition. And the second condition, left side increasing, right side decreasing, second condition. And third condition, derivative here positive and there negative. From there we conclude that f dash changes its sign from positive to negative. Just have a look. And these are the conditions related to the local maxima. If a function has local maxima at x is equals to alpha, these are the conditions. Okay, I have some more diagram, possible graphs also. If a function has local maxima at x is equals to alpha, one more possible diagram is like this. You may get some graphs like this, where the function is increasing in this way, like this. Here increasing, here again increasing. After this point, the function is decreasing. Here it is decreasing, there is also decreasing. Okay, so for this graph also at alpha, we have local maxima. Okay, usually these are the regular graphs and these are some different graphs. Okay, you just have it. Here just I am mentioning conditions related to the local maxima and local minima, and then I will give you different methods to solve the problems. After that, we will discuss global maxima and global minima. Related to this, if you have any doubts, raise your hand. Next thing is bit B. Okay, suppose if y is equals to f of x has local minima at x is equals to alpha, what are the conditions? Okay, local minima at x is equals to alpha, then what is the graph and how to derive the conditions? Okay, since at x is equals to alpha we have local minima, then the possible graph is like this. You just have a look. Okay, and for suppose if you treat this as x-axis, if it is x-axis at x is equals to alpha, it has what? Local minima. See, x-axis may be anywhere, just for our convenience I am representing here. And this point is what? This point is alpha comma f of alpha. In the same way, you just consider just a small neighborhood of alpha, as we mentioned. See, for suppose if you consider a small neighborhood like alpha minus h to alpha plus h, and at this alpha minus h, its corresponding point is here, and this is the height, and this is alpha, and at alpha plus h, this is the point. See, one thing is very clear, what you say about this point? That point is alpha plus h comma f of alpha plus h, and this height is f of alpha plus h. Since at alpha we have local minima, this f of alpha is less than that f of alpha plus h. So we need to change these conditions. How can we change? You just have a look. See, since f of alpha is minimum, so f of alpha minus h is greater, as well f of alpha minus h is also greater than f of alpha. So that's the first condition. And the second condition, left side of alpha, if you say the graph is decreasing, so the graph is decreasing for x less than alpha, and right side the graph is increasing, so the graph is increasing for x greater than alpha. In the same way, since the graph is decreasing for x less than alpha, its derivative is less than 0. So f dash of x is less than 0 for x less than alpha, and x is equals to alpha, derivative is equals to 0. And for x greater than alpha, x greater than alpha means you need to think about right side of that alpha point. So the graph is increasing, so its derivative is greater than 0. Again, from these three we will conclude one statement that f dash changes its sign from negative to positive. Okay, for maxima positive to negative, for minima f dash is changing its sign from negative to positive. Using these conditions we are going to solve some problems. Okay, so for this local minima also the graph may be in this way sometimes. Okay, for suppose, yeah, there exists some special graphs like this. Here the graph is decreasing, here the graph is decreasing, increasing, and this is the critical point. At this point the function will get a local minimum. Okay, you just have a look, you just try to memorize these conditions. Okay, see, local maxima and local minima, which is also called as relative maxima and relative minima. So relative maxima or local maxima. Okay, see, these are the, and we are discussing for continuous functions. And one more thing, these maxima and minima occurs for these continuous functions at a critical points only. Occurs at a critical points, and we are discussing for continuous functions, and for discontinuous functions we have a separate approach. Okay, and now see, this is usually we will face graphs of this type at local maxima and local minima. So for this, as I mentioned, what will happen? F of a minus h value, okay, is less than f of a, as well f of a plus h is also less than f of a, or you may say alpha, a or alpha something, just as we discussed at alpha, so f of alpha. So in this case we say that f of alpha is the maximum value for the function. So again, for minima, if you say f of alpha minus h is greater than f of alpha, and f of alpha plus h is greater than f of alpha, when you think about this, f of alpha is the minimum in the neighborhood of that alpha. Okay, see, not only these possibilities, there are some graphs. See, for suppose I have a graph of a function like this, just I am giving you, say, one possibility. For suppose if I have a graph of a function like this, this is the graph of a function, and after this particular point the graph is almost what? Constant. Okay, somewhere after this particular point the graph is always constant. Okay, see, for this graph, if you observe, if it is x-axis, okay, at this point alpha, the function f of x is getting maximum value. Then in this case, if you think in the neighborhood of alpha, f of alpha minus h is less than f of alpha, because somewhere here we have f of alpha minus h, right? And but whereas the right side of alpha you will get equality sign, f of alpha is equals to f of alpha plus h. This is, see, for this type of graphs these are the conditions. Okay, so this is another possibility of graph. Okay, not only this, we have many other options. It's in the case of decreasing, for suppose, yeah, see what I have to say, for decreasing functions maybe this is one possibility, right? For local minima, not for decreasing. See, if suppose if this is the graph and this point will be the local minima point, okay, or you may say, see, at all these points the functional value is same. You may consider any one of these as local minima value. All these values are same, right? but this is the critical point because the graph is turning its position. So we usually consider at this point the function is getting minimum value. Okay, and these are some special cases, but in almost of all the cases we will face these type of curves for local minima and local maxima. Okay, you just have a look. And to find the local minima and local maxima values and local minima and local maxima points for continuous functions, we have different calculus methods, and we call them as first derivative test, second derivative test, as well nth derivative test. Using those tests, using those methods, we will find local maxima and local minima points for the given continuous functions, as well maxima and minima values. After that, we will extend our idea for global maxima and global minima, right? And I will give you first derivative test now. Just have a look. Okay, look at the board. It's a discussion related to the first derivative test, and this first derivative test is to find local maxima and local minima. First derivative test to find local maxima and local minima for continuous functions. Okay, so the main purpose of this first derivative test is to find local maxima or local minima of continuous functions. Okay, first step is we need to find the derivative of the function. For suppose if the given function is y is equals to f of x, and for y is equals to f of x, our discussion is for the function y is equals to f of x. For that function, first of all, you just take f dash x is equals to 0, and for that f dash, if you equalize that f dash x equals to 0, you will get certain points alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, and all these points are turning points, or you may say critical points. We call these points as critical points or turning points. Right. See, for sure, the given function will have local maxima or local minima at these turning points. So we need to check at each and every point whether it is corresponds to maxima or minima. We need to check. For suppose at alpha 1, if you consider at x is equals to alpha 1, if you wish to check whether it is maxima point or minima point for the function y is equals to f of x using first derivative test, you need to check the sign changes of f dash in the neighborhood of alpha 1. Okay, you need to check the derivative of the function in the left side of alpha 1 as well as in the right side of alpha 1. That in the sense we need to check left hand derivative. Okay, here we need to check left hand derivative for the function f, which we usually represent f dash of alpha minus 1, as well right hand derivative for the function which we usually represent f dash of alpha plus f dash of alpha plus. Okay, as we discussed, see maxima point, when we say it as maxima point, if the graph is like this, we say it as maxima point. Here increasing means derivative positive, decreasing means derivative negative, so positive to negative. And this alpha 1 is considered as a minimum point if the graph is like this. Here this side the graph is decreasing, so derivative negative, this side graph is increasing, so derivative is positive. So see, if derivative f dash changes its sign from minus to plus, we call it as a minima point. If it changes its sign from plus to minus, we call it as maxima point. If there is no change in the sign, then we say that there is no maxima or minima at the point alpha 1 for the function. See, at each and every point we need to check. At alpha 1, we will check in this way and we will confirm whether it is maxima point or minima point. After that, we need to check with alpha 2. Then we need to check with alpha 3. Like that, we need to check at each and every critical point to confirm whether it is maxima point or minima. Okay, see here, since the derivative is changing its sign in the neighborhood of alpha 1 from positive to negative, that means, as we said, left hand derivative is positive here. In this case, if you check, left hand derivative is greater than 0, whereas right hand derivative is less than 0. It corresponds to maximum point. Whereas here, see, left hand derivative is negative, whereas right hand derivative is positive at alpha 1 for the function, so that corresponds to the minimum point. Okay, step 1 and step 2 we need to follow. For step 2, we need to analyze how f dash is changing in the neighborhood of that particular point. After this step 2, we will conclude whether alpha 1 is maximum point or minimum point. In the same way, we need to check at each and every point. I will discuss one problem. I have a problem here. What is that? We need to find the local maxima and local minima values of the function f of x is equals to x plus 1 by x. Okay. First of all, you just observe this. I have a screenshot and then I will solve that problem. You just try it meanwhile. Look at the problem to solve. We need to find local maxima and local minima values of the function f of x, and that f of x is given as x plus 1 by x. Now I am using this first derivative test to find the local maxima and local minima. Then according to that test, in step 1 we need to find critical points, right? So for critical points you need to calculate its derivative first, right? F dash of x. See, f dash of x, the derivative of this x plus 1 by x. For x it is 1, for 1 by x it is 1 by x square, 1 plus minus 1 by x square. And if you simplify, this is simply nothing but x square minus 1 by x square. This is f dash of x. What it is? X square minus 1 by x square. Okay? Right. And I have a chance to rewrite it like this: x minus 1 into x plus 1 divided by x square, and this is f dash of x. And now I need to search for the critical points and specifically turning points. Okay? For, you may call them as extreme points also. Extreme points, maxima, minima points, turning points, critical points, anything you can use. Okay? For maxima and minima points. For maxima and minima points, we need to equalize the derivative f dash x to 0. If you equalize it to 0, you will get x is equals to 1 or minus 1. So we need to think which one is the maxima point and which one is the maxima point. I have two options, right? X is equals to 1 and x is equals to minus 1. So we need to think about f dash of x value in the left side and right side of that one, as well in the left side and right side of minus 1 and minus 1. Okay, I am just giving you here. I am going to erase this. Very simple, you just have a look. Okay, this x minus 1 into x plus 1 by x square. See, there are many ways to check this. One way is, at x is equals to 1, left hand derivative of the function, which I will consider it as f dash of 1 minus. See, already we have f dash, and 1 minus means we need to replace x with a small value which is less than 1. If you replace here, see, 1 minus means x is less than 1. X is less than 1 and very very near to 1. In that case, x minus 1 means what? Less than 0. So this is negative, this is positive and this is positive. This value is less than 0. In the same way, if you calculate right hand derivative, f dash of 1 plus right side of 1, a value which is more than 1, we need to replace in the place of x. If you replace that value here, this is positive, that is positive, x square is positive, everything is positive. So left hand derivative is less than 0, right hand derivative is greater than 0. So at 1, since derivative left side less than 0, so decreasing, right side greater than 0, so function is increasing. So if you consider a point here, see, left side of that point function is decreasing, right side of that point function is increasing. So at this point we will have minima. So we will confirm that this x is equals to 1 is minima point. X is equals to 1 is minimum point. In the same way, we need to check at minus 1. Okay. See, it is obvious if you may get maxima there at x is equals to minus 1. At x is equals to minus 1, if you check left hand derivative, you will get f dash of minus 1 minus. Minus 1 is the number and its left side we are discussing. So I am just using this minus sign. I think you are familiar with this notation. Okay. Minus 1 minus. So left side of minus 1. So x value is less than minus 1. Since x value is less than minus 1, okay, just use any number which is smaller than that minus 1. Okay, left side of minus 1. It may be some minus 1.1 like that. If you wish to check minus 1.1 something, it's negative. Okay. And here 1 minus left side of minus 1 we are discussing. Minus 1.1 as a rough I am taking it as minus 1.1. So negative minus 1.1 plus 1 again negative. So the product will become positive. This will become positive. Okay. And if you calculate right hand derivative, f dash of minus 1 plus a number which is more than minus 1 and nearer to minus 1. As a rough I am just taking minus 0.9. If I use here, this is positive, this is negative. So you will get less than 0. Now if you observe, left hand derivative is positive. Since derivative is positive, function is increasing. Right hand derivative is negative. So the rough graph is like this at minus 1. So this x is equals to minus 1. And the minus 1 is maxima point. Okay. This minus 1 is maxima point. So for this function f of x is equals to x plus 1 by x, minima point is x is equals to minus 1. Maxima point is x is equals to minus 1, and we call this as local maxima and local minima. Local maxima is minus 1, local minima is plus 1. And what is that value? If the question asks you to find local maxima value and local minima value, okay, here I am just mentioning local maximum is, okay, maxima occurs at minus 1, right? So local maxima is f of minus 1. And if you calculate that f of minus 1, and you will get minus 2. That is local maxima. In the same way, if you calculate minima, you will get that local minima as 2. Okay. So, but here I just we are discussing local maxima points and local minima points. So they exist at 1 and minus 1. This is one way of solving. You just have a look. I have the function x plus 1 by x. Its derivative is 1 minus 1 by x square, which is x minus 1 into x plus 1 by x square. And for turning points or maxima minima points, f dash of x is equals to 0. From there x is equals to 1 or minus 1. Now my task is to check which point is maxima point and which point is minima point. For that, at each and every point we need to check left derivative and right derivative. This is just first derivative test. Here just we are using only first derivative. In the next class I will discuss second derivative test, where we will calculate second derivative, and then based on that second derivative we will decide see maxima point and minima point among these two. Okay, I think this is clear for everybody. Okay, and deciding that 1 as minima point, we need to check the derivative value in the left side of 1. You get it as negative. Derivative value in the right side of 1, you get it as positive. So the function is what? The graph is like this, and that 1 is what? Minimum point. This is one way. Instead of checking left derivative and right derivative, see, one more possibility is also there. I will explain for you that procedure also. See, up to this the problem is same, derivative and then maximum minimum points. Next task is we need to decide which of these two is maxima or minima. For that, I am just concentrating on the derivative. Okay. If f dash of x greater than 0, what will happen? If this f dash of x greater than 0, that means x minus 1 into x plus 1 by x square greater than 0. Since this x square is always positive, neglect it, pay attention on the numerator. So x minus 1 into x plus 1 greater than 0. That in turn represents that the values of x are less than minus 1 or greater than 1. Left side of the smaller and right side of the larger. So this derivative is positive. Derivative is positive, left side of minus 1 as well right side of 1. And in the same way, if you check, if the derivative is less than 0, then your answer is minus 1 less than x less than 1. So based on that, x less than 1, left side of 1, derivative is, see, you just concentrate here. Left side of 1, derivative is negative. X greater than 1, derivative is positive. Right side of 1, derivative is positive. So at x is equals to 1, derivative is changing from negative to positive. In the same way, at x is equals to minus 1, See, x less than minus 1, left side of minus 1 derivative is positive, right side of minus 1 derivative is negative. So here derivative changes from positive to negative. Okay, based on that again we have a chance to decide. See, derivative is changing from negative to positive. Negative means decreasing, positive means increasing. Okay, then here the graph is what? Decreasing to increasing. Here positive to negative. So the graph is what? Increasing to decreasing. Since it is the sketch, it represents what? Local minima. And here, since it is the sketch, it represents local maxima. Instead of finding left derivative, right derivative at 1 and at minus 1, this is also another way of deciding local maxima and local minima. Okay, here I have only 2 points. After equalizing f dash x to 0, I have only 2 points here. But for some problems, you may get more than 2 points, and at each and every point we need to check, and from there we need to decide local maxima and local minima points. Okay, just have a look. That's the way of solving a problem to find maxima and minima using first derivative test. Have a look. If you have any doubts, just raise your hands. Next problem. See, analyze f of x is equals to x cube minus x square plus 12x minus 3 for local maxima and local minima. See, for every function to check local maxima and local minima, initially we need its derivative. So f dash of x is equals to, for x cube it is 3x square and minus 2x plus 12. Okay, 3x square minus 12x plus 12. See, to find maxima minima points, for maxima minima points, for maxima minima points we need to equalize f dash of x to 0, and from there 3x square minus 12x plus 12 is equals to 0, right? So we need to find the values of x. How can we solve this? 12 3 is 36. Okay, here we have only 2. So usual factorization won't help here. Just go with formula method. So 2 plus or minus square root of b square means what? 4. Okay, minus 4 into 3 into 12. See, that in turn represents that 3x square minus 2x plus 12. Okay, yeah. See, for this, if you equalize f dash x to 0, you won't get no real values. Okay, x has no real values here. Why? Because its discriminant is less than 0. B square minus 4ac is negative, so you don't have no real values. That in turn represents that no maxima minima points. No maxima minima points. So the graph of this function won't have any turnings or peaks or critical points here. Okay. See, when you try to sketch the graph,